big series this weekend, the marquee series in the majors, is Yankees Mets. And that's your first place New York Mets versus your wild card leader in the AL, New York Yankees. Now, I'm going to start this off by saying this is a huge series for the Yankees. Not only because they're playing their crosstown rival, but the Yankees at this point, like we said before, the wild card race is tightening. The Astros are breathing down the neck, and I'm not counting anyone out at this point. If the Yankees don't win games, they're going to get surpassed. The Yankees need to bounce back from that weekend series last week, and I think they can do that by taking 2 out of 3 against the New York Mets. I haven't looked up the pitching matchups yet, but I'm sure you're going to see Harvey in that series, and you might even see DeGrom on Sunday. But I think I speak for everyone in saying that this is a big series, and not only is it a big series for the Yankees and Mets, but it's a big series for the Clove 22B Clove. There's been a lot of talk about this series. Mikey, am I right?
Yes, definitely could say that.
There's been a lot of talk about this series. I've been hearing a lot from the Mets fans. Tyler Bruno, that would be you. This is a big series for the bragging rights in the city, and I think I've said this all along. I'll make jokes about the Mets, their previous history not being good. This year, I'll be the first one to say it. They're legit, and it's good for the city that they're good. It's good for the city that on September 18th, the Yankees and Mets can start a series when both teams are going to be in the playoffs, hopefully, and are at least fighting for playoff contention, because that's what makes good baseball. And I think you're going to see a packed Citi Field, which is, by the way, beautiful park. It's going to be a series that all New Yorkers are looking forward to. And Mike, what are you kind of looking for in this series from the Mets? What are you kind of expecting the Mets to show us in this series?
Well, Kyle, I just looked up for Friday. We got here. The Yankees' probable pitchers aren't out yet, but we got Steven Matz, the lefty, throwing for the Mets.
Good.
Game 1. So I definitely feel that they got to swipe that first game. I definitely believe Matz is the what should I say? The lowest, the pitcher.
Weakest pitcher.
Weakest pitcher on the
point.
Yes.
Weak point of the series. Okay.
Because on Saturday we got Syndergaard throwing, the hard throwing right-hander, and then for the Sunday nightcap ESPN game we got Matt Harvey pitching.
That's the Harvey game. Okay.
So definitely game 1, and I mean sweeping would be ideal, but realistically, hopefully at least taking 2 out of 3 with a toss-up between Saturday and Sunday, and probably is depending on who's throwing for the Yankees one of those days.
And I completely agree. 2 out of 3 is the goal. It's not only the goal for the Yankees, but I hope that's a goal for me, because then I can have bragging rights the rest of the year. But I completely agree with what you're saying. By the way, Girardi did this last weekend too. He's not announcing his starting pitchers till the last possible second. I think he waited till Thursday last year. Wednesday last week. To announce the pitchers. I mean, I think it's kind of weird, and I think it almost kind of shows that the Yankees don't know who's stepping on the rubber with the injury to Eovaldi. CC has been back and forth. Obviously, now he's healthy, but the Yankees almost have kind of had to piece together this puzzle. They've had, at some point, all their pitchers have pretty much been out this year. So it'll be interesting to see who we get in those matchups. I'm sure Joe will have it taken care of, but I do agree they have to win that first game. It's a big game to win. Now, the Mets right now, like I said, are clicking on all cylinders. They're playing good baseball. They're beating the teams they're supposed to beat, which the Yankees have struggled with this year. The Yankees are dropping games to the Indians and the A's, and the Mets are not doing that. The Mets went down. First of all, they had a phenomenal series versus the Nationals. That was a marquee series of the year. They showed that they were the number 1 team in the NL East, and they put the Nationals out of contention. And then they go down. First, before that, they took care of the Phillies, smoked them. And then they go down here, and they beat Atlanta, sweep Atlanta. And now they're playing the Marlins. They lost last night, but you know what? You can't win every game. They're playing good baseball is the bottom line. So they're beating teams that they're supposed to beat. So I look for the Mets to go after the Yankees the same way they're going after their division opponents. I think they're gonna want to make a statement and show that they're here to stay as the team in New York. Now, what the Yankees have to say about that, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, when I think about this Subway Series, I think the key is going to be the Mets pitching versus the Yankees hitting. Are the Yankees going to be able to hit Syndergaard, or are they going to pull a typical Yankees and seeing a pitcher for the first time and make him look like Nolan Ryan? Now, does he throw hard? Yes. I've watched him pitch plenty. He misses his spots. He gives you a chance to crush the baseball. Now, I don't know about you, Mike, but someone who's been frustrating me with the Yankees offense is Jacoby Ellsbury. Now, he's one of my favorite players. I love the way he plays the game, but I got to be honest, he is not getting it done right now. What do you think? What do you think's the problem with him?
I just think, honestly, probably a lack of focus, but tonight's definitely a big night for Jacoby. I think, in my eyes, to get it going as it's Wednesday, so going into the Friday series, we want to see him with some improvement, but it shouldn't be like that for a player getting that much money. It shouldn't be like he should have to get up a little bit on his game. It honestly should come a little more naturally, because he used to be a star with the Red Sox, and honestly, some Yankee fans might not even be happy how much money he's making now with the production. But fun, interesting stat tonight is that Jacoby is actually 14 for 21 against Chris Archer, who is actually pitching very well this year. And I just find it surprising that he's getting on base getting a hit 2 out of every 3 at bats against a pretty elite pitcher. I think that's something fun to look at for tonight, at least.
Oh, definitely. I mean, then tonight's the night he needs to get it going. I mean, the Yankees have made Chris Archer. It was kind of the example I was going for with Syndergaard. The Yankees have made Chris Archer look like, Felix Hernandez. I mean, yes, is he a strikeout pitcher? Yes, he's a young pitcher. The Yankees haven't seen him. I think the Yankees finally beat him for the first time a couple of weeks ago. Till then, I think he was 3-0 or something with them. He always pitches well against them. But going back to Jacoby, I mean, I don't want to make excuses for him, but the guy was hot at the beginning of the year. Him and Gardner. I mean, I fell in love when I was watching the Yankees at the beginning of the year, and him and Gardner were hitting like they were hitting. It just felt like they were always on base, putting Teixeira, A-Rod in great positions to get McCann in great positions to get RBIs. And I think that injury. First of all, Jacoby Ellsbury is just like Mark Teixeira. He's made of glass. The guy gets injured all the time. But I think that injury definitely had an impact. I think it kind of killed his momentum. It killed his vibe for the season. I think it took a little longer than he expected to get back. And I think ever since he's been back this past month, he's struggled big time. Now, that's not an excuse. He's out a month. But I think that threw his timing off, and I think he still has to find his groove. And if the Yankees are going to do anything in the playoffs, he's got to get going, and they got to get Teixeira back. Now, I wanted to ask you about Teixeira. It seems like the guy can't play a full season. The guy was having an MVP race. MVP. He should be in contention for the MVP with the season he was having. Should Donaldson win it? Obviously, I'm not saying that he should be anywhere on the level of Donaldson. Donaldson's on another level from everyone right now. But I do believe that Teixeira was having an amazing year, and to see him get hurt like that, it's not only hurt the Yankees, but it's hard to watch, and we need him back for a good postseason run.
Definitely, Teixeira. I mean, guys, years ago, you'd look at Teixeira and you see him as one of the top switch-hitting bats you could acquire for any team. I mean, almost anyone would have wanted him. But now he's getting up there again. He's in his one of his later seasons, and he's already 35, so definitely been injury prone. And I mean, he makes great plays in the field. I think that's what I'm more worried about come postseason time.
We miss him right now, big time.
Because right now we have Greg Bird playing, and it's just, I mean, he's looking pretty promising, but it's just not for September, October baseball. It's just not the guy I'm trying to see out there. I want to see the guy that in the 2009 World Series was the one that was making all the plays, the picks, the little stuff that goes by, not so much the stat book, but by watching a baseball game and actually being aware of all the key components, which Teixeira brings almost day in and day out. And most people don't realize that, even though you look at his stats recent years, it's pretty low. But the guy is one of the best defensive first basemen in the league, and he's still doing it at age 35, and I think he could do it for more years to come. I mean, the guy's making about $22-23 million a year, so things like that should be getting done, I believe. So, yeah.
I mean, I completely agree. I think that Teixeira is a player capable of leading the Yankees to another World Series. Now, do I think the Yankees are a World Series contender this year? To be quite honest, no. Do I think they can make a good run in the playoffs? Yes. And you know what I loved last night, or 2 nights ago? I love Slade Heathcott. I don't know if you guys if know his background. I'll just give a little bit about it. He was very much he abused alcohol and drugs for a couple years when he was in the minors. He was a first-round pick of the New York Yankees in 2009, and one, he's overcame that. Two, he was in contention to make the team out of spring training. Didn't make the team. Actually got injured. Hurt his quad. Finally came back. He gets called up for the September call-ups. And what does he do? He resurrects the Yankees. When they have their backs against the wall, they look flat again against the Rays, getting no hit through, 7 innings, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, getting no hit. Just once again, pulling a Yankees team that you don't know what you're going to get this year. You get the best Yankees, and you get the team that's flat. But anyways, he single-handedly brings them back in the game, hits a huge go-ahead home run, and the Yankees win that game. I mean, think about it. If they had lost that game, lost last night, we were looking at a nice little, losing skid starting. So I think that was big. I love that young players coming up, and I love that the energy they're bringing. Now, when we come back, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to talk a little bit about the Giants-Jets matchups in the coming week, and that'll be it for us today.